If discipline was the answer, why do you keep ending up in the same cycle? You know what to do. You've tried to be consistent. You've started over more times than you can count. And maybe for a little while it even works. But eventually something happens. Life gets heavy, emotions shift, motivation leaves, and somehow you end up back in the same place again. I had to sit with that personally because after a while you stop asking, what strategy am I missing? And you start asking, why does this keep collapsing under pressure? And for me, the issue wasn't effort, it was belief. This is something my coach taught me that honestly reframed how I look at growth. There's this framework that he explains. It's called first you have to believe, then you have to do, and then you have it. Or another framework, you be, then you build, and then you bless from what you built. And when I first heard that, I realized how much of my life I was trying to build from the outside in, trying to create habits, trying to stay consistent, trying to stay disciplined. But underneath all of that, there were still beliefs in me that didn't fully agree with where I said I wanted to go. So externally, I was trying to perform a version of me that internally I hadn't fully become yet. And eventually, that tension catches up to you. I had to confront this in real time because there were areas where I genuinely wanted to change. But if I'm honest, part of me still identified with the old version of myself. So I would have moments where I locked in, focused, consistent, and then pressure would expose what I actually believed. Not because I was lazy, not because I lacked information, but because deep down, my identity still had limits attached to it. And I think that's the frustrating part when your mind wants one thing, but your internal wiring keeps pulling you somewhere else. That's why I no longer believe behavior change starts with pressure alone. Because eventually your identity will pull your behavior back to whatever feels familiar. You don't rise to your goals consistently if your beliefs keep negotiating against them internally. Pay attention to how you speak about yourself this week, especially when things get difficult. Because what comes out under pressure usually reveals what's actually rooted underneath. Write these two statements side by side. What I say I want, what I actually believe about myself. And don't judge yourself when you see the gap. Just be honest about it. Because awareness is a part of healing too. Choose one identity statement and practice it intentionally this week. I follow through. I am becoming consistent. I can be trusted with responsibility. Then make one decision that aligns with that belief. Not to prove something, not to perform, just to reinforce alignment. Because I'm learning that discipline flows better when your identity stops fighting it. I think a lot of us are exhausted from trying to force results without dealing with the beliefs underneath them. And maybe that's why it keeps feeling heavy. Because discipline without belief feels like survival. But discipline with alignment feels sustainable. So I'm not saying discipline doesn't matter, because it does. But what I am saying is it's hard to consistently build a life that internally you still don't believe belongs to you. So before you pressure yourself to do more and ask yourself what version of you actually believe is possible, and start there. Belief sets the foundation. Discipline just builds on it.